So today we're going to start or continue working on this cabinet that we refinished earlier in the year. I did a lot of repairs on it, and I'm going to use some natural finish along with some painting on this cabinet. It is technically an antique. I would say, from the early 20th century. I'm sorry, yeah, early 20th century, 1920 maybe. So it's been in storage for a while. So I took it back to continue working on it, and I started a little painting and blending on it, and I'm going to continue that way. It has a few odds and ends, but the joints are secure. So there's a couple of nails here, but it's not loose at all. I'm going to leave it just as it is. People have worked on this before, so it's not, a pure antique in the way that, it has never been touched. The casters are missing. Not sure if I'll be able to find some that will go in here. I wouldn't want to put new casters in it, but I might be able to come up with some, some casters from eBay, and in that way I can put it in. Whoever did this side didn't do a perfect job, because you can see that this is tilted a little bit, so it's a little askew. That's okay though. It's all part of its personality, and so we're going to continue decorating it and hopefully make it pretty again. I have the bonnet here, and of course everything continues to need to be fixed, but see if I bend back a little bit, you can see daylight right here. There are little nails on either side of the applique, but I don't want to break the applique, so I heated up some hide glue, and I'm just going to put a little stream of it in here where it's loose. And let me see. I'm going to put a stream of it right in there, and I'm going to use a few clamps on this just to hold it down. It may pop back in the future, I have no doubt, because it's just the way wood is as it bends. But I don't want to use an epoxy because I want to leave it as natural as possible. And I don't even really want to use a wood glue because this just naturally flexes. So for now, I'm going to put a hide glue in here, and I'm going to clamp it, and I'll leave it overnight. Okay, so I've done some blending on this piece, and I'm going to do some stenciling over it. And I'm using Art Alchemy. It's a metallic paint, and the color is white pearl. So I just put it out on a piece of plastic. Leave that there. And I have a stippling brush, a stenciling brush. And I did put some adhesive spray on the back of it. So you can see that I tipped my furniture right side up, and I put it on some rollers. Okay, so that's done. This one side. Of course, the doors need more fixing, more sanding, and they need a magnet. There's the other side. Yeah. I like it. The pattern of the stencil actually doesn't follow this, so it is kind of an angular pattern. So it looks like it's at an angle, but that is actually the way it's supposed to go. So, yeah. But it's pretty. And like I said, I'm probably going to sand it down a little bit to age it just a bit. So now we're going to work on the front. So for the inside bottom and the back and the inside shelves, and I think in here I'm going to try this Restore finish because there's a few stains on it. I sanded it a bit, but and it's very clean. So I'm just going to see if that will brighten it up a little bit and even out the look of it. And I have just a regular rag here. And so I've started working on one side, and before I do the bottom legs, which will be stained, I'm going to put a little bit of a vignette of the black paint at the bottom of these doors, you know, as a framing. But I wanted to get the base colors in first just to get them settled. So I have what I believe is a little bit of bleed through. And what I'm going to do is put these base coats down. They're not base coats, but my first coats of the colors And I'm going to give it a little spray with shellac, just to prevent any more bleed through, and then I'll continue doing my blends. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm starting with the French linen at the top. And I'd rather see the bleed through now than later. So I'm okay with that. I kind of knew, you know, of course, that it was going to bleed through. So, yeah, no surprise. It's just the way of these things because, you know, it's either mahogany or it's probably mahogany. Though it's still, yeah, I mean, it's probably mahogany. I keep saying that because, so it's not as red as it probably was when it was first done because mahogany kind of fades the red after a while, especially at this age. It doesn't matter to me which direction my brushes are going because I'm doing a blend. So I want a lot of texture. This is the Gravel Road. And if you're interested, those are Dixie Belle colors. And around these appliques, I'm going to do some colored waxes, probably black wax, because I think that's what would look good here. And I'm trying to get the color in all the details. This is just a towel to wipe it off. Oh, this is a kind of a nice blend. It's going to get better after I get the shellac on. So, because you can see that the colors get a little contaminated from the bleed through. And I have a very light hand with my blending. So this looks a little discolored, but after I get a coat of the shellac spray on, that's going to go away. So I think what I'm going to do is put a little blow dryer on this and dry it quickly so that I can put shellac. And so I started using some of the touch-up on this deep scratch. So the finish has been, I haven't altered the color of the finish. I don't want to. Um, I believe it's walnut, but I could be wrong. It could be mahogany. It's one of those really nice old woods. And so what I do here is I just started with a base. It's very red, and so I'm going to, start putting on some more color. This is a little lighter. It's an oak, so I just want to. I like to build my colors. Of course, it's not always perfect, but and I'm going to start adding a little darker ones. This is a walnut. Because, these woods didn't start off this color. So what you want to do is actually mimic, if you can, the way that this wood actually reached this level. So you start with a base, and, if it was mahogany, it would be very red originally. And then, natural aging kind of decreases that red. So it's getting there. And I have a coat of the shellac spray over the natural finish, and that's what I'm applying these tones to, is over the shellac. Now I have a darker one, but it's black, and I really don't want to go black, so I'm going to use a little different. I'm going to go for one that has a little bit of green in it. It's the Dark Perfect Brown. Trying to work one-handed here. Just trying to dry it off. She liked that too. That hides it pretty well. Very tricky to see now. Now I can actually see it a little better in the camera than I can in real light. So I can see a little bit of the red. Funny how that is. And the camera picks it up where my eye doesn't. Not too bad. Not too bad. So I've decided to leave this nice figuring without changing any of the tones. Of course, I have to clean up around the edges here where I painted. I have to do that upside down. And I'm going to leave the color just as it is. And I am going to put a flat acrylic finish over it, which is something I don't usually do for antiques, but I'm thinking that, whoever has this, maybe me, whoever has this might want a little bit of a more protective finish on it than, say, a, wax, shellac and wax. So, sorry about the lighting here. But I like it. I think it's really pretty. I love it. I think it's just a beautiful color. And as far as the bonnet, so I've touched up the bonnet a little bit. And I have to touch it up a little bit more and give it another coat of wax. Not wax, shellac. And then do the same finish, the flat finish on the top. I glued it. It came out really nice for now. So you can see that there's no more daylight through that seam. And that was done with the hide glue. Yeah, so, yeah. So I'm back this morning after letting the shellac dry. I'm going to give another coat of a blend here. And hopefully the shellac will keep these from bleeding through. You know, it didn't happen on the sides, in case you're wondering. The wood on the sides is different than the wood in the front, so that's why. But like I said yesterday, I'm not surprised that it bled through, and I'm not really that worried about it. So let's, the shellac should help, and today we're just going to do another coat and get that finished. So it always looks really different with the first coat anyway. And I am going to start again with my lighter color first, and I may need a little bit more paint, but we'll see. So we're doing this side. I like the way this blend is a little bit better than this blend. This blend looks better in person. This looks better on the camera, but I like that it actually, the dark paint comes up a little higher, and that's what I mean. So today I'm going to add a little water to my surface. I also took over some artist brushes today. I have to get them. They're over on the desk. Yeah, because it's easier to use an artist brush up here. Yep, so let's do the gravel road. See, this is so much lighter. So my blend is going to be two ways. It's going to be this way, and then it's going to be this way. The bottom is the black, but that black is kind of muted with the gravel road. So let's see. I think first I will blend the top. So the top I'm going to blend the, what was that color? French linen into the gravel road. And what I have here is a little makeup brush. It's just the softest thing. And rather than trying to use my big boar's bristle, I think these are like a mink or something, but they're really, really good for blending. And so this is 800 sandpaper. I'm just going to dull up the top a little bit. It has the shellac on it. And I'm going to do a couple coats of the Flat Out Flat General Finishes acrylic finish. And I'm not digging into it. I'm just taking the nibs off and dulling it down a little bit. Okay. It'd be nice if I had some paper, but I don't. So I have it taped. And I'm just going to have to move this blanket around a bit. All I want to do is put just a little bit of toner right along the edge of the top. I'm not going to put it underneath. I just want to put it along the top, but I don't want to ruin the finish on the top that I've already done. So this is the walnut wood tone. It's just a toner. And I'm going to put just a little bit. Okay. So I'm already, the wood tone has dried, and I'm going to do that flat out flat finish. And I do it with a brush and a roller. I use a high density foam roller, and I spray it with a little bit of water because the General Finishes is a water-based finish. And right here, I'm just going to, get plenty of material on my roller. And I'm going to start in the middle and go out toward the edges. Okay. So I'm using the Howard's Citrus Shield, which I love. I always use it. It smells beautiful. I love the way this came out. The color is perfect. The edges are all really nice. After trying to find nice matching color on it with all the dings that I had to repair. So that looks good. The bonnet looks really good. It was very, very discolored, and it looks great now.
Now here's where we started way back in the spring. It was very damaged and we had lots of work to do to it. Keep watching.